Well, good afternoon, everybody, and bunny lovers. Thank you for tuning into my channel. My name is Kelly. I have a bunny, and her name is Harley. And I just figure random things that people have asked me since I started my channel, and maybe I would like to maybe answer them like a little Q&A. And some things that you may not know about bunnies that you might want to do or don't do, depending on what I come up with. I'm just sitting here, and this is the time of year. I grow basil in my yard, and I'm actually picking the basil off. What I do with it, it's mainly for my bunnies, but I also put it in like my spaghetti sauce, anything that calls for herbs, even a ranch chicken. Um, you take that powdered Hidden Valley Ranch, and then you'll take the dried. See, I'll tell you how I do it first. After I tell you this, and then once the basil is dry, brown, I bake my basil in a baking dish like this. As you can tell, I got a bunch of basil in there now, and I bake it on the lowest temp of my oven, and I think the lowest it goes on mine is 150, and so that's what I set it on. That way it can slowly, it's a way of dehydrating these leaves without having a dehydrator. So, that's how you do it. It takes about, depending on how full you get these. I mean, you can get them pretty full, and they'll still cook the same. But I do it for like an hour, and then I'll go and check it. I'll set a timer, and then I'll turn the leaves like this, because underneath they're going to still feel wet if you got a big pile. Now, if you just want to do the bottom layer of your pan, and don't worry, I wouldn't worry too much about it not being done after an hour. But if you have several leaves, you'll want to dehydrate it on about 150, and set your timer for about an hour, and then recheck it. So I do have a dehydrator, but to me, I can get a lot more done this way versus doing a dehydrator. You wouldn't get half the leaves that I have in these pan in the dehydrator. And some leaves are quite small, so they could fall through because the dehydrator, unless you have the liners, you can buy liners for the layers for the dehydrator pans, depending on the size, the shape of your dehydrator. But like I said, this gets done a lot faster this way, and to me, there's no other way to do it but this way. I just kind of like a little summary of when you get a bunny. Excuse me, I'm eating potato chips. I'm hungry. So there's some things these are going to be things that a lot of people do not know to do for their bunnies. Some things that rabbits go through, people do not know. When you get a rabbit, and you're not really experienced on knowing the down details of a rabbit, structure, things that happen to them, what it's called, what they're called, a bunch of stuff. So number one, I like to start by saying, before I go into my actual video, if you're new to this channel, thank you and welcome. Please consider subscribing. I do tips, tricks, advice, and just something related usually to bunnies. Most of my content will be about raising your rabbit. I am an expert. I know everything there is. No, I was even a veterinarian at one time. And then I marked myself to a vet assistant. And then I had some leg issues, which caused me to get on disability. I was awarded my disability in 2011. So I haven't worked since then. So if that is something you're interested in and you do like a bunny or you have a bunny, you're thinking about getting a bunny, you really need to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to give you a lot of helpful tips. And along the way, any of my videos, if you have a question, just hit it in the comment section. I will reply to you right away. Or as soon as I get it anyway. So if you can subscribe, but always make sure your bell is set to all. Because I believe it would say all, custom, and none. Now if you just click on the bell, it will alert you every once in a while. Okay? So if you hit that, once you hit that bell, there's going to be like a little small list. It's like a little pop-up window right by the bell. And if you see all, click on that all. That way, every time I upload, you will be notified. And make sure you have YouTube to give you notification as well on your phone or tablet or computer. The other thing is hit that like button. What that does is the more people hit like on my videos, it tells YouTube, hey, people are liking this, and they get it to share it and expand it to more viewers, more people out there. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get my content out there so that more people can get this useful information. If they have a bunny, if they're thinking about getting one, or if they have one and just don't know a lot, they kind of got it on a whim. And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people get bunnies and not knowing that much about them. So, with all that done and out of the way, I like to start by saying, number one, rabbits, every animal has a technical name. That's the only thing I can call it. It's like, I'm a female, but my name is Kelly. It's the same person, but I'm named something. My name is Kelly. And the same with the rabbit. You got rabbits, hares. It's basically the only. You got rabbits and hares. And rabbits can be wild, and rabbits can be domestic. Hares are pretty much just wild. But their technical term for a rabbit is called lagomorph. And that means that they are just active more at night and the early time in the mornings. And then usually during the day, they sleep. They'll go into their sleeping area. My aunt says Harley has a hidey house that I made from a plastic tote. I took a Dremel tool and I made like a little circle. Matter of fact, if you want to see her, she's right here. She's cleaning herself right now. She's cleaning her hair and stuff like that. It was probably kind of dark over there. I don't really have a flashlight, but so right now I have the phone aimed at me. So I wish phones would come up to where you know how you can go on a live on YouTube. Well, they can turn their camera around while they're talking to you. Well, when you're doing a regular video, these phones, you just can't turn them around. If you do that, then you gotta look at the back of your phone, talk to it, and then you can pause it and then turn it around. But they need to have phones where you can talk this way, hit a button, and it'll flip the camera on. I think they should really come out with that. And if there is one, please let me know. I'll consider buying it because I hate having to have the phone facing this way. Then I got to pause it so I can turn it around, or just turn it around like I just did with Harley. And I have to look at the back of my phone at that point. So anyway, just telling you my frustrations. So lagomorphs are kind of like people who work third shift. And of course are working, so they're active late at night or sometime in the evening times and in the morning. And then they go home and they sleep during the day. That's exactly what a lagomorph in a rabbit does. So they usually get about, depending on the atmosphere, if you have dogs and are barking, or you got people and people are always talking, they're going to have a hard time sleeping. So you want to give them an atmosphere, possibly maybe their own room, like a bedroom, specifically spaced out just for your rabbit. And that's not always possible, or cannot be the case in some instances. But the quieter area when they're sleeping, the better they'll sleep. And sleep is essential to them. They don't get sleep, it's just going to be like me and you. They're going to be groggy, they're going to be grumpy, So I suggest, if you can, you could maybe make 2 areas up for them. Like during the day when they're up and around, you can have them in the area where everybody else is at. And then I've done this before. And then when they're sleeping time, you take them somewhere that's quiet, or if they have their own room. And I would highly recommend that. In that way, if you go somewhere, you can close the door and knowing that they're secure in there. But as far as the lagomorph goes, that's what they're called, and that's what that means. It just means they're basically got the graveyard shift going on, and that's when they're active. Number 2 thing that I like to tell you guys about that you may not know, rabbits have these things called cepitropes. And if you wanted to know what that is, or the definition, I can basically run down to the shortest version of that word. And cepitropes are their poo, but it's a certain kind of poo. It's not the regular round ones that you see them dropping, or that they have in their litter box. It is a wet consistency. It's kind of like jelly-like. And if you've ever seen a raspberry, you know how it's got the little round things, and it makes up the raspberry. Well, that's what these look like. They don't necessarily look or shape like a raspberry, but they're little tiny round balls. I mean, super tiny, and they're kind of like a cluster. And they look wet. They don't get big and round like their normal ones and just drop out of them. And it's essential for them to ingest them. They eat them. And it's got vitamins and minerals that these cepitropes have, and they ingest it, they eat it. And she's over here right now. Let's see. Hi, baby. What you doing? Hi, sweetheart. Oh, look at this. You want basil? You want to eat the basil? See, I had a lot today. His mom's been put them all over the place. See, this is what they look like right there. This is basil. It's called cinnamon basil. She loves it. There she is. So that's what I mean. I have to take my phone and turn it around, so therefore I can't tell if I'm getting her in the shot or not. So that kind of sucks. So the Supatropes, they kind of know that it's coming from underneath them, and they'll bend their. If you ever see their head, and they're kind of like bend all the way down by their tail, but on their underbelly, they will be bending down and doing that. Most likely, they're eating their Supatropes. She's playing with my sandals now. I'm moving them around. She's an angel. She is. She's just. Holland Loves, I swear, are the sweetest bunnies and lion heads on earth. Those are my two picks. They're my two favorite. I don't like how there's a history behind Holland Loves and lion heads. One day I'll go through it on how they came about, and I mean I know all that stuff. There isn't nothing I don't know about bunnies. And you know how you say, well, I learn something every day. Well, it's kind of hard when I've kind of learned it all. But I mean, who knows? So as far as Supatropes do, they eat them, and some bunnies won't. They just drop them, and that's not good, because these Supatropes have minerals that they need to ingest, and it helps with their digestive tract, and so they're basically just digesting it and kind of like pooping it out twice, if you think about it. Now, of course, the second time around it comes out regular poop, but their body does produce these Supatropes, and they really need to eat them if they can. I know that probably sounds gross to you all, but it's part of bunny life. It's what happens. And she's looking at my kitchen right now, but she hates them laminate floors. They will not run on laminate floors whatsoever. So that's it with the Supatropes. And if you ever see them drop them and they're just laying there and they haven't ate it, wherever they're at, you can get like something cardboard, like a toilet paper roll, cut a little piece off the cardboard, and maybe just lay it by them and see if they'll eat it. I did have a lion head that was dropping these all the time, never ate them. Now, she probably did some, but the ones that I found were not being editable for them because they weren't eating them. So they were edible, but they were ones that they dropped and never ate. So I mean, there is bunnies out there that drop these Supatropes and just don't eat them. I don't know a lot of bunnies that will do that, but this particular bunny, now I had 2 lion heads, so it could have been either one of them. So I'm not going to pin it like on one or the other, but one of them was doing it. So that's what Supatropes are. If I had another phone or another way, I would Google it and show you an image of it, but I don't. I have my tablet, but it's charging right now, so I can't do that. And since it's charging, the charger port's at the bottom, and so I can't really like set it up, and you know what I mean. So it's just I can't do it right now. Let's see. The third thing, I'm a big activist on this. Rabbits do not belong in cages. And people out there breeding, big no. You know that some of them don't even care when they wean these baby rabbits. They don't care if they get eaten, and to me, that's a big no. No cages. You don't breed. You know, those are the two big no-nos. I look down on that, and I think you guys should too. Because it's not something that they need to live like. I mean, how would you think you lived your whole life in these four walls that were made out of metal, no carpeting, no nothing at the bottom, just wire, so they can get health issues, and that's what brings me to number 3. Rabbits can, if they live on wire bottom cages with no padding, no nothing, they produce these things called sore hawks. And what a sore hawk is bottom of their feet, unlike dogs and cats. Dogs and cats have them like jelly bean, like little, I call them little buttons on their paws. So those are like padding so they can grip when they walk. With rabbits, all they have is fur down there. There is no jelly bean paws. Nothing but fur. And so, walking on a wire bottom cage or anything rough like that, even concrete, it can cause their fur to go away. And what leaves behind is their raw bottom foot. And then they can get kind of like blisters. You know how you would get like a blister on your feet or a callus? Well, these sore hawks will produce on their feet. They'll lose their fur, and then they'll get these sore hawks, which is just the raw part of their foot, no fur, whatever. The fur will eventually go away. Hi, baby. And sore hawks are very painful. It kind of like if you ever had a corn or a painful callus on your foot. That's kind of what these poor little guys go through when they are forced to live in a cage with wire bottoms. She just laid down. Oh my God, I love how they plop and just. Y'all want to see? Look. Let me see if I can find her. Okay, she's right there. Right there. There's her little butt. And she's just laying there. Oh, it won't let me zoom in, guys. Sorry. That's her right there. So, rabbits can get the condition called sore hawks. And they can be very, very painful for them. I mean, these guys depend on us to give them the best proper care ever. And if you learn from what I tell you, you will be a better off bunny parent. And they will thank you. And also I would thank you, because I found out a long time ago that rabbits were my passion. And I'm going to try to get her a mate, because I think she gets lonely, and I spend a whole lot of time with her, but I can't do every second of my day. There might be times I got to go places, and I try to do most of my stuff during the day when she's sleeping, so that it doesn't bother me too much knowing that, well, she's asleep, and so I can go ahead and do my running or whatever, or go outside, or whatever I have to be doing that while she's sleeping. So that's what I try to do. But these sore hawks they can cause these rabbits a lot of pain. And once they lose that fur, once that area has gone raw to where they got a sore hawk, fur will not cover that anymore. So guys, you gotta be really, you gotta treat these guys like you would a human. Would you put your own kid in a cage on a wire bottom with bare feet? No, you wouldn't do that. You need to think about if these guys were your child, what would you do? And that's how you need to think of things. These things I'm telling you it hits me deep in my heart because they deserve the best care ever. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to get emotional, but my gosh, these are the most abandoned animal or species in America. They're not the number one, but they're one of the most abandoned animals in America right now. And what's weird is some countries honor these guys and they think so high up of bunnies. Someplace in Africa, they think of them almost like their God. Of course, we know we only have one God. No matter what religion you are or what nationality. And, not going to make this a religious post. It's just, I believe these guys, God made these creatures for us. We need to, if you're going to get one, take the best care that you can with these guys. They don't live that long, and that's what's going to bring me to my next thing. So we talked about sore hawks. If you have to put them in a hutch or a cage, which you don't have to, there's always ways around it. Please try not to. But say it gets sick and you need to have it in a 30-day quarantine or something like that. Say you just bring it home and maybe you got another bunny. Well, you want to quarantine it, and then you might have to keep it in a small cage for the time period that you want. I would say if it's going to be in quarantine, maybe about 2 weeks to a month. Or another reason they would have to be in a cage is if you just had it neutered, you want it in a small congested area so that it doesn't do a lot of moving around. That is a good reason to do that. But other than that, there's be no reason to keep these guys in cages. I've seen the result. There's no life. That's not a life. And that's cruel and inhumane to put them in a cage for any other reason. So these sore hawks can hurt them. So let's just not do that, okay? Now, another thing you guys may not know, and of course do your own research too. I mean, don't take my word for it. Go ahead and research it and prove me wrong, and everything I tell you is the truth, and it will show up that I'm telling you the truth. But I always say do your own research too. You can research anything you want on Google about a rabbit. It'll pretty much, but don't just trust one site. Research it on several websites and stuff. So we're done with the sore hawks deal. The next thing is you guys need to know rabbits don't live a very long life. They actually age very quickly. Like right now, Harley, my Holland Lop, she turned 1 in August. Okay. But in human years, she's already 21 years old. I mean, the girl is ready to go to a bar. So she's 21 now in human years. So it was like she went from being born to 1 year, and she turned 21. So they age quite rapidly. She's in her prime right now. When rabbits usually around 5 or 6, are considered senior rabbits. And rabbits normally, depending on the breed, the species of rabbits, like, say, the smaller rabbits might not live as long as the bigger looking rabbits. But on average, rabbits usually age from 8 to 12 years of age. That's how long they live. There's been people on the Book of World Records, Guinness Book of World Records. I believe that rabbit is 20 years old, and that's unthinkable to think of because that's like never happened. That's why it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. I have to research it again. Oh, my thing's done charging. Let me look this up because I'm going to see what this actually says, and you can see it right in front of your eyes. So hang on. In the Guinness Book of World Records, what is the longest living rabbit?
According to Guinness World Records, the oldest rabbit ever was a wild rabbit called Flopsy, who lived to the astonishing age of 18 years and 10.75 months.
Okay, so it says, hi, sweetheart. Come on, baby. She wants to come up on the couch and sit with me. So it's, and you heard it, according to Guinness World Records, the oldest rabbit ever was a wild rabbit called Flopsy, who lived to the astonishing age of 18 and 10 3/4 months old. So 18, almost 19 years old. I was on a channel. Her name is Lennon the Bunny. Go check her out. She has a rabbit named Lennon, like, you know, the singer Lennon. John Lennon, I think his name is, something like that. And the reason she named it Lennon, at first she thought it was a boy, and the name stuck. And then one day she went to the vet, and she found out, the vet says, no, this is a girl. And so she just kept the name because she knew her name, and it just seemed fit. But you can Google, like, what rabbit has the longest lifespan, and stuff like that. But according to this, it says that, I'm not sure that this is the same rabbit that I seen on her channel, because I'm pretty sure that she said that this rabbit that she interviewed, this bunny mom, that had a rabbit that lived 20 years of age. And I don't know how current this is either. So you just have to look it up, and look up Lennon the Bunny. And then one of her videos, it's not a short, it's a regular videos, it will say what the lady's bunny's name is, and sorry, I'm trying to look up something for you guys, Lennon the Bunny, and I can see if I can actually tell you what the name of the video is called, and that way you kind of get an idea. Let's see here. Yeah, she does a lot. I mean, a lot of stuff really good. I mean, like DIYs. She comes out like these little hacks. Wow, look at that bunny. That's a lion head. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, and it was a recent video too. I mean, it wasn't not real recent, but Gonna see if I can't try to find this. So hang on just a second. Okay, so I finally found the video because I had to pause it. His name is Doc, and the title of her video says "Meet the World's Oldest Rabbit, 18 years and still hopping," and that's the title. So this rabbit's name is Doc. I'm guessing it's a boy. Yes, he is a boy. He's had 7 wives. So you might want to go to her channel and check that out. She talks about, she interviews her. So there's the video right there. I just paused it. So check her out, Lennon the Bunny. She is an advocate for bunnies. She's like me, how I started out. I didn't know a lot about bunnies when I first got my very first one. But upon research and being a vet also helped, and I've just learned rabbits are the most amazing animals that there is. This rabbit is 18 years old. Now, I don't know if it hit the Guinness Book of World Records, but if it lives to be 19, then it, and the other one is, depending on which one was to pass away, and if Doc outlived the other bunny Flopsy, then I would believe that they would put that bunny in the Guinness Book of World Records. So, talking about their age, it really varies, but the very average on a lifespan of a bunny, again, it depends on the breed, the size. They can live anywhere from 8 to 12 years, and some, as you can tell, a lot older than 12, but that's rare and means that they've probably had hardly any health issues throughout their whole life. And caring for them properly is a big factor too. Their age, that brings me into my next thing I want to talk about. That rabbits need an exotic vet. You can't take your bunny to a regular veterinarian that looks at cats and dogs because they don't know they haven't studied the structure of a rabbit. They have to study, and you don't want to just take it to any exotic vet. You want to take one that's a rabbit savvy vet. That means that they studied rabbits, they work a lot with rabbits, and if you do pick an exotic vet, it'd be good if you could find one that's close to your house, because rabbits get a little stressed out, just like a cat kind of does when they travel. And if they travel for a very long period, it can stress them out. So find an exotic vet, and make sure you ask them, are they rabbit savvy? And if they said yes, then the next question you want to ask them, say, well, how long have they been in a rabbit savvy vet? What is their rating of, has any died on their clock? Have they had, how many successes and how many failures did they have, basically? So you want to make sure that's rabbit savvy. That's a big one. And you don't want to get a rabbit without finding a vet. If you do already have a rabbit and you have not taken it to the vet, you need to Google, or I don't even know if people have address books anymore, but I think those are kind of extinct. But need to go on your phone and Google a rabbit savvy vet in my area. And jot down, not just don't go to the first one that you see. You want to jot down at least 3 numbers. Because and you also wanted to have an overnight, after hours, a vet hospital, where you take your animal for, and again, they have to be rabbit savvy, they have to be an exotic veterinarian. For instance, mine would, the hospital would be about 45 minutes to an hour away from here, which isn't good, because if it was critical, it would be really hard to get there if they were very critical. So you want to have 2 numbers and 2 of them down in case something was to happen. So, accidents happen all the time. So get a rabbit savvy vet phone number and get a good relationship going with that vet, and ask all the questions you want. And also, if you don't know of a hospital, you can ask that vet, say, I would like to know who can I call or who can I take my rabbit to if an accident was to happen, or I think there's something wrong with my rabbit. It would more likely be a hospital. Hospitals even have where they can give the animal oxygen and all that stuff if it's that situation where they need that. But that's what the hospital's for. Kind of like when we go to the hospital, our doctors might be closed, but we can still go to the emergency room and be seen. And they have all the equipment there. So just make sure you keep that in mind when getting your bunny, or if you've already got a bunny, make sure, and if you haven't taken image, you just recently got it, you want to make sure you give them a call like tomorrow. Tomorrow being Saturday, this is just an example, but call them the next business day and get its checkup, whatever. And speaking of checkups, you also want to make sure that you ask your vet, when would you like me to bring him back to be seen for a checkup, like a wellness checkup or whatever. He might mostly say that, everything looks good, so I'll see you back in a year. And that's usually what they'll say. So at least annually, usually on their birthday or their month of their birth year. I know exactly when Harley was born, but you might have a rabbit that you're not really sure. But you can say you got it when it was 6 weeks old. And obviously you'll probably remember what month you got it, so you go back 6 weeks, and in that month, whatever that month is, that's usually somewhere around there, and you can just make an appointment at any time in that month. Just tell them, and a lot of vets will send you a text message saying it's due for your annual checkup for your pet or something like that. If they don't, then just kind of mark it on the calendar, or remember when you think that their birthday is, and just take them then. You can also ask the vet if you're not comfortable with it. You can ask them to clip their nails. They'll do that for you. I believe there's usually a charge to that, but some won't charge, depending on how good you are in with your veterinarian. So you can ask them that. And when you first bring your rabbit in, they might recommend that you do some blood work, x-rays, just a whole system done on them. So, they know if there's any underlying problems on them that you may not even be aware of. So make sure you get that done as soon as possible. So the next thing I would like to talk to you guys, one last thing. I mean, there's a million things that I could talk to you about, so I'm just narrowing it down from the most important things that on the top of my head that you should know about. There's a thing that a rabbit can go through when their digestive tract slows down, or completely stops. It means they are going through a condition called G-stasis. GI means gut intestinal, stasis, which means infection of. So it can be several reasons why they stop or slow down their eating. And I'll give you things to look out for as well. So, because some people, it's a gradual thing when they're going through it and you don't really detect it right away. So, to narrow it down, make a long story short of G-stasis, when you give them their favorite treat, like a slice of banana or whatever, their absolute most favorite thing, that they'll eat it no matter what. In my case with Harley, it's a banana. She absolutely loves her banana in the morning. And if I was to give her that banana and she just put her head down like that and didn't even mess with it, it's like she was saying, don't want that, I'm not having it. That should alert you right away. And if you try several things and she won't eat nothing, or he, call your vet right away. G-stasis is the most number one killer in rabbits right now. It's called the silent killer. And because it's called the silent killer, because it's like a 24-hour period. Some can survive G-stasis, some cannot. It depends on, like I said, they can die within 24 hours when their gut stops. So that's what G-stasis is. It's when their digestive tract either slows down or stops altogether. And when that happens, there's usually like a blockage. And when they eat, it backs it up even more and more and more. So, please, I urge you, get your vet to the hospital, to the vets, one of them two, that you have a phone number for, either that day, and if it's a weekend, say you can't get to the hospital, there's something I'm going to go over that you need to have on hand when they go through G-stasis, and I'll get to that in a minute. So, why do they go through G-stasis? It's usually because it could be several things, but the most common ones is they've ingested something, chewed on something and swallowed that a foreign object, or could it be they love to chew on plastic cords. It could be anything that they maybe chewed on and swallowed, and it got lodged in their digestive tract. Another reason, because rabbits shed a lot, at least twice a year, depending on what kind of rabbit you have. Like my lion heads, they didn't really shed like a regular rabbit does, but when you brush them, fur came off of them. It was just, their fur felt different than a regular rabbit's fur. It was more like them fancy scarves that were made out of feathers, and people would wear them when they went to a ballroom or something, went dancing. It's called foo-foo, and that's how. So all rabbits are different when it comes to shedding, but they they getting back to the rabbits G-Track. Another reason that they could be going through it is because they've ingested a lot of hair from grooming themselves. Rabbits are self-groomer, and there is one more point I want to make after I tell you about this. It's something that you all should know. Actually, two more things. So I will try to wrap this up. This is a very lengthy video, and I'm sorry about that. But if you made it through the rest of this whole video, hit that like button and let me know that you've watched the entire video, because you're awesome if you did that, and you're still awesome anyway. I just prefer if you watch this whole thing, you get lots of information. So that's what G-stasis is. It's when they've come in contact with something and they've swallowed it. And with rabbits, they can't regurgitate. Means they cannot throw up. They're unable to throw up. So they're whatever's in there, they can't throw it back up. It'd be great if they could, like a cat or a dog. With rabbits, they cannot regurgitate. I use that term because it sounds more pleasant than saying tossing your cookies or whatever. So they can't regurgitate, and whatever, if it gets a hairball there, or it could be also something you've gave them that was real gassy. They get a gas bubble in their tummy. That kind of blocks the area. Now, with the gas bubble, along with this other stuff I'm going to tell you that you need to keep on hand all the time. If you never open it, that's great. It's great to act. It's just one thing I can say. It'd be great if you wasted your money on it and never used it. It's priceless. But with the gas bubble, like if you give it stuff, some greens, there is some things out there that they'll eat, but it's not good for them. They're not supposed to be eating like cabbage. We'll just say cabbage. Cabbage is very gassy for me and you, and even these animals, these pets, these beautiful creatures of God created for us. So there is stuff that you can buy. It's in the baby aisle called infant gas drops. I'll show you what I have on hand. So here's my version of the gas drops. This is a Walmart brand, Equate. And for some reason it doesn't want to zoom in, but it says, at the top it says dye free. And if you can see, it says infants right here. Is that infants? Yeah. Gas relief drops. And on the back, it'll tell you, it's giving you information on a baby, but it does have directions. I usually just, what I'll do, and it comes usually with a syringe already. This comes all the way out. But normally, just take the stuff and you stick it in here. I usually just fill the whole thing. I think it's made from, I think it's grape flavored maybe. Well, hi sweetie, let me get the bags out of your way. There you go. Let's see if it says no artificial colors, flavors, no artificial flavors, saccharin free, non-staining formula. I can't really see. Let me see what if my light will show me. Okay, it says syringe enclosed. I thought it said the flavor, but I guess not. But it just says compares to some other brand's active ingredients. So, Somebody's trying to eat the. Those are the pods, the seeds that, see that little girl right there? Is that good? It's just basil. She's trying to pull the pods down because I use them and that's what I plant next year. They won't hurt me. It's just like little leaves, little tiny baby leaves that haven't grown into big ones yet. Is that good, my sweet girl? Oh, yes. See, look. There she is. She's an angel. What are you doing? Hey, here you go. Here, we'll give you one, okay? There you go. So anyway, sorry I get interrupted. But it's a good interruption. I will take time for her at any point in my life. She wants my attention. I'm there. So anyway, I just filled it up like that, and then slowly, see how it comes out. Very, very slowly. It's a little thick, but not too bad. So that's basically, I was just kind of give you an example of what you do. And then, of course, you make sure you close it up really good. And if you do, in fact, put this in their mouth, you make sure you want to clean this off. And I'm going to get an alcohol pad, matter of fact, and clean it off. And this is another item that it'd be great if you never have to use it. It'd be worth wasting your money on it if you never have to use it. So that's with the gas drops, and you will have to just keep an eye on, just be very visual on, how they're acting, if they become lethargic, or something of that sense. So if you're giving them their favorite treat and you've tried several and they won't do it, then more than likely something's going on with them, and I would predict that it would be G-stasis. I do want to give a disclaimer. I am not a veterinarian, so I can give you the best advice, but if your bunny needs, if you think it needs see a vet, then I recommend going right away. Do not hesitate. Definitely take your bunny to the veterinarian as soon as possible. I give you the best advice as I can, but I can't diagnose your bunny because I am not a veterinarian. But I am an advisor, an advocate, and an expert on bunnies. And I will give you the best advice on what to do. And if I think it's beyond just giving you advice, I will just simply tell you, don't ask people about this. I would take your bunny to the vet. So the other reason that more than likely they went going through G-stasis, once you determine that there's something going on and they're not eating, you could also notice that they're maybe not pooping. Say there's no poo around, or maybe they're not even drinking their water, something like that. These are things why you need to take your animal, your pet rabbit to the veterinarian. So if they are going through G-stasis, and say you just can't get your bunny to the vet right away, there's this other stuff I'm going to introduce you. That this is something I told you need to have on hand. And if you waste your money and never use it, that is absolutely awesome. That means you never have to experience what G-stasis is. Unfortunately, I had a bunny that actually died of G-stasis. Look at this. She hopped up here. Hi, baby. Hi. Oops. Did you see that? There she is right there. I hope you were able to see her. But she's, I think I caught her off guard and scared her and she hopped back down. But yeah, I just did a live video of the story of Leo. And actually, I was given this necklace the other day, and it has his name on it. Can you see that? Leo. That was his name. He was a lion head. You know, I named him Leo because, you know, Leo the lion. And also, the month he was born, his sign was Leo. So, I think he was born to be called Leo because it all worked together. It's a very sad story. I never thought that it would happen to me. You know, that title a lot of people say. Well, yeah, that's me. I didn't think it was going to happen to me because I took the best care of him. I did everything right and took him to his annual visits. If he had something even minor, he was at the vet. So G-stasis is a silent killer in rabbit. It can kill him within one day if not detected right away. So this is the stuff right here. I'm about to show you. And this is what I told you, that if you waste your money on it, never use it, that's actually priceless. So this is called Critical Care. Critical Care right there. And it's for, you can get critical care for all kinds of animals, but for this particular brand, this is for the herbivores. See, herbivores right here. So, and here's all the animals that it takes care of, and then below these animals, it actually titles them. So like this is rabbit, guinea pig, chinchilla, tortoise, and iguana. And this bag is apple and banana flavored, if you can see that right here. Okay. And it does come with a scoop. I'm not sure if the smaller bags do. They do have smaller bags. And if you want to, you can get a small bag at first. But if you have more than one rabbit, you might want to get the bigger bag, just in case. And, you know, sometimes when you're maybe switching their food, and just get them to entice them to start eating, and there's a lot of reasons. This stuff you can give them even if they're not going through G-stasis, but there's terms on that. So, but for this, you just I took a shot glass, and that's just an example. So, yeah, this stuff, I took a shot glass, and very slowly I would drip water. I took warm or hot water, but not so hot it would burn them. But you take it and put it in a little shot glass, and if you don't have the spoon, the scoop in it, you can take, I would say, a teaspoon or actually a tablespoon. That would be better. And just do that a little bit at a time, and that should be enough for one feeding of this stuff. And it's like a green grayish powder. I don't know if I can get my phone to that's what it looks like. It's stuff right there. There, right there. So it's kind of like more brownish than green, but it's like it's kind of in between. Okay, so Like I said, you take the tablespoon, put it in a shot glass, and you want the consistency once you start adding water, about like the consistency a little thinner than like applesauce. Um, like soupy like, because the reason I say that, and I'm going to show you if I can find the darn things. Okay, here they are. I got 2 syringes here, and there's a reason for that. One is smaller than the other, if you can tell, and one is shorter than the other. This is a small one, this is a bigger one. And plus you can see the difference here too. So the reason I have 2, and I bought these at Walmart, it came in this package, Equate brand, oral syringes, that's what it says. And see down here it says 2 pieces, down here. So once you get the, you're mixing it up and stuff, and you got the water in the consistency of like a real soupy applesauce, like real thin. And the reason you want to do that, because you're going to want to push it through these holes, okay? So the first one, you take this, and you want to take something like a very small spoon, because little by little you're going to put your finger here so it don't drip out, and then you're going to take the consistency of the Critical Care, little by little, put it in here, okay? Now when you get done doing that, you're going to put this here, but then you're going to turn it this way, and then flick it until all the air is out, where it'll fall down a little bit, and then you push it until it's just getting to the very top where it's about to squirt out. At that point, you take this one, okay? So you've done that with this one. You take this one and you take the syringe out. You definitely want a syringe that you can pull the plunger out of. So you'll take this one next. Again, put your finger at the bottom. And whatever you got in here, you'll just squeeze right in there. And it's just the easier way of doing this. So once you got it in here, again, you do the same thing. You put the plunger in, and then you turn it upside down, flick it until it slides down and all the air bubbles are out, and push it forward until you get it going. Okay? And then you want to take the rabbit and find it somewhere on the side of its mouth, either side. You'll find like a middle spot where you can kind of get it past their gums. Very slowly, push it very slowly. See how slow I'm going? And you want to keep some baby wipes around. I wouldn't say use Kleenex, because the Kleenex just kind of messes their fur up like that. And I got 5% battery power left, so that's how you do the G-Stasis. And do this several times a day, just till you can get it to the doctor. I'd say at least 3-4 times a day, and depending on the size of your rabbit, I would say try to do, in the big one like this, I would say I would at least do 2 of these at a feeding. So, just do this long enough till you can get to the doctor, and then the doctor can go from there and tell you what to do next. They'll probably do an x-ray, maybe a sonogram on their stomach to see if they are truly going to G-Stasis. They'll find out the reason why your rabbit is acting weird and not eating. There's 2 more things I want to talk to you about real quick. Now, the one thing I'm going to tell you is, with rabbits, you do not bathe them whatsoever. There's only one circumstance where you can get their back in clean and give them like a sponge bath. You might have to submerge your butt in water a little bit. But you never put your rabbit all in water, like a cat or a dog. They groom themselves. They clean themselves. You do not ever do that. It can put them in the shock and can kill them. Um, and they can also get hypothermia due to it freezing. No matter how warm you keep that bathroom, they can still go through a hypothermia or shock, and it can kill them. It's not worth it. Just don't do it. The only instance that you can do that and do it very quickly is you take their back in. If they are unable, say they're a senior rabbit, or for some odd reason they're not cleaning their back area, you can give them a bum bath. And that's fill up your sink with some warm water with maybe some baby shampoo that's tearless and non-toxic. You take like a sponge and you clean their back in and do it as quickly as you can, and then dry them off really, really good. And maybe if you can use the dryer, just make sure you don't stay in one spot too long. You always want to go back and forth with the hair dryer because that hot air can burn them. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is when you have your rabbit, you may at some point have it and you cradle it or something. Never put your rabbit upside down or in a cradle position where its stomach is facing you. Never put it in your lap and have its belly facing you. That's considered being upside down. They will go into a thing called a trance, and they do this in the wild when they think a predator is trying to get them, kind of like playing dead. And it's not a good feeling that they feel. They are fearing for their lives. So do not put your rabbit upside down. Do not cradle it where its stomach is facing you. At all times, you should not have to ever do that. Now, there's some critical areas that you may have to do that. And if you do it, like clipping their nails, like you got to get to their back feet, try to find someone where you don't have to have them in a cradle position and help you. And I will go do a video some point soon on how to properly clip your bunny's nails without tipping the bunny upside down. So this video is like an hour and 12 minutes long so far, and my video camera my phone period is going to die. So I want to thank you for watching this entire video. These are just things I think you really should know, and I'm going to spend some time with Harley before I put her in bed, or put her to bed. I thank you for watching my video. Comment below if any of this helped you. Let me know, did any of this that you didn't know about? Let me know what you didn't know about. Is there anything, any kind of video you would like me to do that I haven't done? Send the comments in the comment section. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure your notifications on. And I will see you guys hopefully very soon on my next video. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.